We're back, guys. Another great episode of Oversteer TV online, the podcast.
The pod.
Episode 14, I think this one is. I'm Tony Castanera, and of course, my partner in crime, Jeff Brown.
I didn't commit any crimes.
Yeah, who has all the news there that we're going to hear about. So go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I guess we can start with Formula One because they didn't race last weekend. So we'll
Yeah,
skip
exactly. They're
that.
racing in Hungary this weekend. The only really big news was that Toyota, the rumor that Toyota is coming back to Formula One, that they're going to join up with the Haas team.
Okay.
And in the beginning, because Toyota has kept their factory in Germany, their Formula One factory, and they lease it out for other teams to do testing and stuff. And the story goes that they're going to be like branding the Haas as a Toyota, the way Alpha used to do a Sauber up until last year. And then over time, they're going to develop more and more of a partnership. My main question is Haas thus has a partnership with Ferrari. Their engine and gearboxes from Ferrari. They do a lot of development with Ferrari, and they use Dallara also. I don't know how happy Ferrari is going to be with their car having a Toyota badge on it. I don't see how they're going to figure that one out. I guess maybe if it does happen, Ferrari's just go, we don't care as long as the check clears, or it's just one of these deals that I don't know. I can't see how they can figure it out. It'd be good for the sport if Toyota came back. I think another manufacturer. That's what Formula One wants, the manufacturers. And with Honda being involved with Formula One, I think the guys at Toyota really want to be a piece of the action now. Ford's coming back in with Red Bull also, and who else? Some other team was thinking. Oh no, Hyundai was thinking about going to Le Mans also. So, but manufacturers are getting more involved with racing, I guess.
Yeah, you race on Sunday and sell on Monday is the old adage. If you got a winning race car, if Toyota wins the race on Sunday, then guess what? They're going to sell more Toyotas on Monday.
Well, I say that manufacturers are getting more involved, except that in one type of motorsports, that's IndyCar. This is the time of year where everybody talks about the rumor of IndyCar is going to have a third engine manufacturer. And every year for the last, I don't know, 12, 14 years, it's been, oh, excuse me, I got some eye. It's been the same old story. Yeah, we're talking with somebody, we're going to get somebody, and then nothing happens. Nobody wants to join up. And if the rumors are true, they better find somebody quick because Honda's out after 2006, after their contract's up. I see no reason for them to stay. They're mad as hell, and they're not going to take it anymore, as they say.
Well, the manufacturers come and go. Maybe Toyota will come in and pick up the slack.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Nobody's talking Toyota going to IndyCar. And speaking of IndyCar, you didn't see the races this weekend, did you?
I saw the second one. The first one, I record them on DVR, and I turned on the first one, and all I saw was somebody getting shot or something. I don't know what was going on.
It was what's that show? 24 Hours is one of those shows.
It seemed like it was all made up. It was like
a true crime thing going on there, and they just kept on talking and talking and talking.
It wasn't
we shouldn't
me,
joke about
that's all I was worried about. I didn't get shot, so
well, two people are in the hospital and the person died, so we shouldn't make light of the situation. So that was just messed up. But it sucks. Like IndyCar has no luck. I mean, that race was supposed to be on prime time on network TV Saturday night. Everybody home Saturday night is going to be watching that race. Guess what?
Preempted.
The race day, I did catch part of it, and they moved it to CNBC. So, but I guess a few people might have seen it then. but you didn't miss
Yeah,
much
when I
because
switch over, my DVR doesn't switch over too.
yeah, and yeah, yeah, we got that technology yet, and you didn't miss much. You saw Sunday's race. You pretty much saw Saturday's race. It was the same thing. Um, no passing whatsoever, hardly at all, unless you're Santino Ferrucci. You did a great job. Other than that, it was just follow the leader. They redid parts of the track. NASCAR wanted some changes made in the corners, and the IndyCar people are blaming it on that. Also, the hybrid didn't help. And a lot of drivers, in fact, afterwards, a lot of drivers complaining about the hybrid system that it just added weight to the rear of the car, but really no more power or anything. And they really couldn't use it during the race. And so they're complaining about that, the cost and the weight involved. So,
Well, when they were reaching 180 miles an hour on that track, on a 1 mile track.
yeah,
So you're hitting top speed 180 miles an hour on a 1 mile track. Guess what? It's going to turn into a one groove race track. There's not going to be a lot of places to go.
well, they've had some great races there in Iowa before, and they're doing just as fast. It's just, I don't. It's I'm still going to hold off on if they should just abandon the hybrid power yet, because it's just one race, even though they raced twice at Iowa. I don't know who they're racing next, but soon they're going to be racing in Milwaukee, which is even less than a mile. It's like 0.98 of a mile, and it's almost a true oval. So that'll be fun. But then again, there's no really much banking in Milwaukee either. So that's going to be an interesting race. Everybody wanted, a lot of the old fans were clamoring for, we want to go back to Milwaukee. I don't why.
Like, why are they saying we want to go back to Miami? That's what they should be saying.
Yeah, well, I know why they're not coming back to Miami, because the last time they raced at Homestead, there were more people in the garages than there were in the stands.
And we were there, and I think, if I remember correctly, the race went entirely caution free. They started the green flag, and then the checkered flag, and it was over. They did green flag pit stops. There was never a caution.
Yeah, it was super fast.
We hardly had enough time to drink up there at the bar.
Yeah. I know that there has been talk with Homestead. I keep on pushing. If you're going to go back to Homestead, race the road course and do it at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of times they raced at night on the oval, and it was fun. They had decent crowds out there, but this is Miami. Road course, do it at night on a Saturday night. You'll get people out there. Sunday afternoon, I mean, unless it's November, it's too damn hot out there. You're not going to know who wants to sit on aluminum seats in Miami.
I do.
Oh, no, you never sit in aluminum seats. You're in the media centers. Or up in the private boxes.
I know I started out in aluminum seats out there in the stands with everybody else. That's where I started.
I haven't been to the Speedway in a while. We got to go out there.
I know. We used to have an we knew the track president was good friends with the track president. Now he's no longer a track president.
We'll have to see. Go out there and make.
Maybe he just wanted to retire. He's like older than us, and we're at retirement age. So after so many years, he just ready to retire.
Well, we have to go out there. Hopefully, we'll go out there for the NASCAR race next month. It's in October, right?
It is in October. Yeah.
Speaking of that, NASCAR. Anything happened in NASCAR this past week? Interesting.
Well, they ran at Pocono, and Ryan Blaney won it. That's a track where he won his first race, and he came back and won a second one. And he seems to be on top of us. Everybody is touting Larson, Kyle Larson. But right now, the top of the heap is Ryan Blaney. I keep trying to say Dave Blaney. Of course, Dave Blaney is his father, a longtime Cup driver. But Dave Blaney, his father, always drove for like second rate, third rate teams. He never had the success that Ryan Blaney has had. He's won a championship, several races, and of course he's driving for Team Penske. So when you drive for Penske, you're expected to win races.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Pocono, the long pond straightaway, the longest straightaway in racing, and it's a true triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Just 3 turns, and it's a very interesting race. I actually enjoy Pocono race, even though it is kind of single file, also hard to pass.
I got a question for you. The whole way that NASCAR does points now, where you have the playoffs.
Right.
So a lot of drivers, they win their race. It's pretty much if you win a race, you're in.
Right.
Right. So you're a driver, you win a race halfway through the season, you've done well the first half of the season, you're in the playoffs.
Well, not necessarily, because you do have to start. There is a stipulation in the rules that you do have to start all the races.
Right. You have to start a
That
race.
you're not allowed to miss a race.
Yeah.
You have to start
but
the
once
race.
you know you're in, you can start the races and can you just like, okay, I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to drive around in circles and just, save the equipment, save the wear and tear on the car, save the wear and tear on the drivers, on the team, the pit crew, everything. Let's just take it easy because we're going to make it to, we're in the playoffs anyway, where it starts all over again.
Well, they're not going to do that because they get for finishing in the top 10, like during the stage segments of the race, like the first stage and the second stage. If you finish in the top 10, then you get playoff points. If you win that stage, then you get a playoff point, which moves you up and pays off when the playoffs start. It helps you make it into that second round. And also, you can do that. You can ride in the back. But by the start of the playoffs, you better have started running good, because you're going to get left behind. These guys, they're, you might be able to go to like 5 or 6 races before the playoff starts and then get serious.
Right.
But if you're not on top of your game, you're going to get behind and then you never catch up. So the argument against that is that you have to keep running hard or you're going to fall way behind. It's not just points wise at the start of the playoffs, but performance wise on the track. You want to go in with momentum for sure. Just like football, you want to go in winning. You don't want to go in after losing a bunch of games, then you're down, So you want to carry momentum, and that way to do that is to keep running hard.
Right. Yeah, I know. I understand that reasoning totally. But then again, in every series, there comes a point where somebody might just go, "Hey, on, let me just go through the motions here. Let's just take it easy." Not going to kill myself in every series.
Yeah.
There comes a point where like, why am I I got this already locked up, or I'm cool or whatever. Let these other guys who are trying to fight the way in kill themselves, and I'll just hang out here. My check's already cleared, so to speak.
And sometimes that pays off for you too, because you're hanging around back in the back, not really pushing it, and the guys up there wrecking each other and wrecking, and then all of a sudden you come down to the end of the race and they throw a late caution, and boom, you're sitting up there in the top couple rows with a chance to win it, and then you might change your mind and say, "Hey, let's go for this thing,"
Yeah. Well, as they say, that old saying, if you want to finish first you have to finish. So
exactly. We're full of old sayings today.
Yeah,
we need to do just a show of racing cliches.
And sometimes when I watch NASCAR races, I go, these people haven't heard that saying before. Oh man, so this is a time of year where everything's kind of like settled in. We're in July. Most series we're halfway through the seasons for most series. We're seeing who are the contenders and who are the pretenders, so to speak, as I say, more cliches. And but it's also,
with NASCAR, you're already, if you're down on that cut line in NASCAR, like I think Bubba Wallace is like one spot below the cut.
Yeah.
He's running wide open every lap. There's
Yeah.
no give up in him. He's got, and it's to the point where he's going to have to finish good in every race to make it.
Mm.
I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, you have to start planning like 10 races before the playoffs that you have to position yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then also performance wise, you have to have your car running, in the top 5 at least, or else you're not going to win the championship.
Right. Well, I like Bubba. There's one thing, a lot of people have complaints about Bubba Watts, but one thing about Bubba, the guy tries. Okay. He's gonna put on a show. Okay. He's not gonna just like let people just slide by and take it easy. The man pushes, and I like that. I appreciate that in any driver. Um, there's one of my biggest complaints about IndyCar is when it turns into a fuel mileage race. People go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's strategy," and I go, "No, it's boring."
It's you can go the slowest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you want to see racing? A Ferrari or a Prius? You know? Yeah,
Although Priuses are very fast, I will give them that.
I
Especially from the
appreciate
top.
like Scott Dixon, who's like a genius with that. I appreciate. Okay, I appreciate his talent. What were you hiding?
Yeah, I'm a great fuel mileage guy. As far as when I'm on the highway driving, I can stretch a gallon of gas out a long way.
Oh yeah,
But on the racetrack, you want to see them go fast.
yeah, it's always easy to spot you on the highway. You're the one with 10 cars stuck behind him trying to get around you.
Hey, everybody says I drive like my grandmother, who's dead. So I guess I'm that slow.
Hey, well, that's why I got myself a hybrid car, so now I can go fast and not have to worry about the gas.
Just the electricity.
Yeah. So
Do you
what else?
plug it
What else?
in hybrid? Is it a plug-in hybrid?
Pardon me?
Do you plug it in?
No, I
The
didn't get a
plug-in
plug-in
hybrid?
hybrid. That was
Uh,
I looked at it, but I did the math, and right now it wasn't worth the extra $10,000. So, hey, I came back from a trip last week up to Central Florida, and I'm averaging 39 miles to gallon in an SUV. I'm happy. I'm
yeah.
really happy. So, um, the which is the whole hybrid thing with IndyCar again. It's great. I love hybrid power. I think it's great, but it's a little late, isn't it, for them to be like making a big deal that they're in hybrid?
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody else has done it, but NASCAR they're moving to electric. They're going to go hybrid at some point.
They're probably going to go hybrid some point. I don't see them going electric anytime soon. All electric anytime soon. Mainly because
They
they
still have to
race.
have an engine to make some noise.
Not only that, it's just the distance that NASCAR races at 400 or 500 miles. Right now, there'd be no electric car that can do that. Even Formula E, their races are only what 40, 50 miles tops. I mean,
Yeah.
they're short little sprint races because
Well,
they
I
run
remember
out of
when
power.
they would change cars in the middle of the race. They'd
They
have
used
a
to do
second
that. Now
car.
they've gotten better. Now they stay in the same car. But I remember, yeah, the first couple of years they literally had to pull into the garage, swap drivers into another car and go. It was hilarious. But now they can do the whole race. But still, it's like there's no electric car can do at speed 500 miles going fast. Pushing all out. It's even like I know people with Teslas and they go, yeah, I can go 250, 300 miles on a Tesla unless I'm on the highway when you're going fast, and then it's like more like 150,
Right.
So it but the whole thing with IndyCar and the hybrid, it should have been done a long. I think we discussed this before. It should have been a long
Yeah.
time ago.
I think last week.
Pardon me.
I think we discussed it last week.
Yeah, I know. It's just sorry, guys. There's really not much to talk about this week. I was going through Twitter and Instagram and look at what else happened this week. Nothing much happened this week. BS stuff. I mean, besides the Toyota story, what else? Oh, supposedly now that Haas is going to have Esteban Ocon and Oliver Bierman as their drivers next year. All right, interesting story. They tried to make a big or a few days ago they tried to make a really big story because Ralph Schumacher, the brother of the great Michael Schumacher, but Ralph Schumacher was also a Formula One driver, won some races. He came out as gay. Nobody cared. Okay, I mean, it's 2024. That's not a big deal anymore. Okay, good for them. I hope they're happy. Mazel tov, as they say. Go for it. But other than that, nobody cared. So
It's a non-story.
it's a non-story. They tried to push it, but nobody cared. Um, yeah, we're at that time of year. I just saw today another thing. Rumors is we're getting into silly season with the drivers, and then Adrian Newey, who's leaving Red Bull. Now they're supposedly before he was going to Ferrari. Now he's going to Aston Martin.
Mm-hmm.
In
That
IndyCar,
is a
there's
big
really nothing
story.
going on. To me, the only really story of the weekend was Santino Ferrucci, who everybody seems to hate. That he rubs people the wrong way, but then again, he was the only guy who was passing people, and he came up from like 20th, starting 20th, and end up in the top 10. Then when the last round of pit stops came, the pit stop went bad because he drives for AJ Foyt Racing, and that's what they do. And they ruined it for him, and so he came up only 14th. But he's in the top 10 in points, and I've said it before. Yeah, he could be kind of a jerk, and people don't like his attitude and everything. But I think he's a potential winner. And if you put him in Ganassi or in a Penske or even McLaren, he's going to win a race easy. I think he's got the talent. Now everybody's going to come after me over that line because people hate him for some reason.
Hate him. I enjoy watching him race. He's a good race car driver, and like you said, his excitement on the he creates excitement on the
He
track. And
creates
that's what I'm
excitement.
looking
That's
for.
what we need. And that's like that. You need the Bubba Wallaces. You need the Kyle Bushes, the world. I mean, they keep it entertained. It's to people be interested in the drivers. Scott Dixon, yeah, great fuel miles guy, one of the greatest drivers in IndyCar history. Man, nice, super nice guy. Also boring as.
Not creating a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Excitement. That wreck at the IndyCar race on the last lap, the guys were upside down and on top of each other. That was pretty scary there.
Yeah, StingRay Robb. He's another guy. At first, everybody was ready to blame Alexander Rossi for going slow, but it turned out they had told StingRay Robb, "Hey, Rossi's going slow. Be careful." And I guess he wasn't listening, and crashed right into him and flying over the top. Took out a couple other cars and everything.
That was
StingRay
about the
Robb,
only excitement in the race.
yeah, StingRay
There on the
Robb
last lap.
is not good. He's not a good driver. He's he's always near the back. He's one of the slowest qualifiers. He always finishes near the back. Um he's one of the IndyCar will take anybody.
Well, they need a car count. They need a car count because they are
Yeah.
low on cars. They have to bring guys out of retirement to get 33 cars in an Indy 500.
Right. They're starting like now around 26, which is a good thing. It's just some of those drivers, you look at them. I forgot last week somebody got injured and he wasn't able to race, and so they had to get a replacement, and so they got Connor Daly. He's another one. I mean, he's I don't know why people like him. I guess he's a nice guy, but fans like him. But the guy's never done anything. I mean, he's a grid filler, always has been. The same with StingRay Robb is worse. I think he's caused a lot of problems. He's caused a lot. I'm gonna have to look that up. Who's caused the most yellow flags this year? And I'm sure he'd be near the top.
Well, they could always bring back Milka Duno. They
Oh,
need somebody to be a rolling speed bump out there.
hell, I'd pay to see that. Good old Milka. I miss her. She was a sweetheart. Couldn't drive worth crap, but I liked her. Oh
The
God.
other racing cliche, the rolling speed bumps.
Yeah, that she was. That she was. That goes back to the old good old Dennis Vitolo times. That's Nigel Mansell about him.
The name for a band, the Rolling Speed Bumps.
Yeah, he's IndyCar's always had one or two out there who are just who's the other? Oh, Canapino. He's another guy. What's he doing out there? I guess he's just got money. And
Yeah.
ride buyers. There's some good ride buyers and there's some bad ride buyers. IndyCar's got their bad ride buyers and they have their cast offs out there. So, oh man. So, I guess that's gonna
Looks
be
like
it for today. We're
of,
like really trying to dig something to talk about.
we're out of material here.
So I guess we're gonna end it. Come on, guys. We're working on a plan in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna have a contest to have one of our fan, come on our show and be interviewed. But let's hear their opinion. Why not? What could possibly go wrong with that? We're gonna do that,
Well,
and we got some
count
other
the
news
ways.
coming up. And so come on, click the like button, follow us, like button on Spotify. Also, if you're listening to us over there, we're going to be posting more stuff on YouTube also. So please come on, ask us any question. Tell me I'm an idiot. I love it. I love it. Now, don't tell Jeff he's an idiot because he takes it personal and he'll hunt you down.
I will cry.
All right, guys. So Jeff, say goodbye to everybody. We're going to get going.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. You guys take it easy. Recording. Boom. Don't want to do that. No, I don't.